Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are premiering. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out of appreciation to Abraham Mohammed, Adam, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Blue Ridge Ranger, Burn Fat Till My Stomach is as fat as the earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Robinson, David Wayne Foster, Daz Studio 68, Edwin Johnson, Erwin Jennisons, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life is Short, Maria Neelands, Matt, Missouri Bear, Nagara, Nathan Thompson, Naibai, Rob H, Skeptic936, Steve ALM, Texas Mike, The Real Gabster, Tina Baker, Tom Herkins, Unbelievable Productions, and Windrider. So a massive shout out to appreciation to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. We are joined by a couple of people in both the G Plus and Discord server, so I'll raise the mic on them and you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Put in there. I got a couple of concessions out of them last night. The water level, the sea level's horizontal.
Out of who?
Got that. McToons. Also had a sort of a concession that the water level on a sphere would be higher in the middle. I can get you that clip. I did clip it, so I'll put that in Master B.
For me, the part that I caught, Bev, you had him on two parts. He didn't know what the water level was. He was referring to the spirit level. But prior to that, he lost the whole argument when he said straight is curved.
It's the tangent to...
Yeah, he kept talking about a tangent to the surface, but he was talking about the tangent to the surface of water, which is horizontal. So there can't really be a tangent to a horizontal plane. Yeah.
Like I said, anytime someone who wants to debate doesn't know words and says straight is curved, I said, well, you lost the argument right there.
Yeah, level was curved and measured as well. He dropped Jesse Kozlowski in it. Jesse Kozlowski has measured the curvature.
The one we can't see?
The one that you've been asking for a few years.
The one that if there was no atmosphere we could see. That one.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Job.
Is he just not measured the effects of perspective, called the Mirth curve?
I don't know what they've done. I mean, like supposedly he also said that he's got the main surveyor who has measured that plumb lines aren't parallel, which I think is another fantastic claim, because the plumb lines are
not a claim.
Vertical at the point that they're at.
It's not a claim, more of a contradiction in terms.
Yeah. The way they use Euclidean geometry to disprove perpendiculars of verticals and horizontals. A fantastic claim. I'm more sure now that they don't actually know what they're talking about. They're just they have a model and they just fantasize things that fit on their model. And that's the way, to them, it has to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
like
agree.
cult members. If you're trying to explain to a cult member how their cult's wrong, they just explain how no, that works within our cult thusly. And they'll explain it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was quite honest with his thing, where he, like, never do they refer to reality and like this happens in reality. They always are quite careful to say, on the model, this is what happens. Keep away from reality all the time.
Yeah, they don't get away with that here. That's probably why they don't come. Because we say we don't live on a model.
Yeah, I've never had a model I don't have a model within my head that I have to conflict reality with. So I live quite a free life. No, very, very little contradictions in what I have to deal with. But I can't imagine what it must be like for these people. Like, they have people that they think are stupid who tell them very simple reality facts that they can't disprove
Or comprehend.
Yeah.
He was saying, well, we have a hypothesis. But you got to have an observation first. And then when that was brought up later, he says, well, yeah, the scientific well, yeah, we have to observe it first, but that's almost like a given. He didn't say it, but he meant it that way, that one part. And it's like, this is the same guy who says science doesn't prove things, and he's talking about a hypothesis. I'm dying when I'm hearing all this.
I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, he was. I didn't feel sorry for him in that way. He tried to say straight, level is curved. And the minute he said that, and the minute he actually believed that, you won the debate.
I was struggling to work out how to get people to understand this. That, like, to me, it's very, very simple. The water level is horizontal. It finds its own level. The only way it can do that is with it being horizontal. But on their model, he has this. Well, they all have the theory that they're on the top, so everything curves away from them. So the conflict comes when two people are at two different sides of a level water on the canal. Like, to him, it's quite fine. Well, I'm not just to him. I would imagine a lot of people to imagine that you're always higher whenever you're on the water, because it has to curve away from you or drop away from you, because that's the way the sphere works. But if you then move to the different bit of water, then everybody is at the higher point. But that logically, that can't happen. There's got to be some sort of conflict there somewhere.
Well, there's only one situation that would permit that, right? Things change.
Horizontal.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, when you're describing two people, so you're right, they just take it from a fresh starting point when you move. Well, now we're on a new set of mathematics. We're in a different location. So now I'm on the top of the sphere again and everything's falling away from me. Right? That's what you're saying. But I'm saying the only way that actually works in reality, and there's got to be a way of making this clear to an audience, is to say, well, that only works if you change your position because your perspective of the world has changed, in very literal terms. So what would give you the impression that everything's falling away from you when you're in one position, but then you change your position and everything looks like it's falling away from you again? Well, it's only because of perspective. In other words, you can't match up what's happening with something that's actually fallen away from you, because as soon as you move, it changes. Now, their explanation, as you put it, is to say, well, we're always on the top of the ball. Well, yeah, but you can have two people make a measurement at the same time now, can't you? And suddenly it all falls apart, because it only works with one person doing the measurement. And that's because what you're actually doing is hijacking perspective.
I think you explained it quite easy. I understand that. You're at top of the world, and the world is curved, then everything from either side of you is falling away because you lived on a curved surface. There's another guy away from you, and it's exactly the same for him. Then everything between you and that guy on a curved surface still has to remain curved. But it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of 2017, 2018 though, isn't it? Them pointing out that they've hijacked perspective.
I know I've said it 3 times already, but I'll say it again. The minute he said straight and level is curved, he lost the argument. We're not dealing with a full deck here.
No, we're dealing with people in cognitive pain as they double speak and contradict themselves.
I mean, how can you even have a debate with someone who doesn't know what straight is or curved is?
See, that's where the contradiction is. If they imagine an eye level, like they're looking at something with an eye level, then that level happens to be horizontal, doesn't it? You know, you don't ever imagine that that's a curved line. That level
kind of do. In their model, the camera always angles down, so you're always looking down towards the bottom of the geometric horizon, the Earth curve edge obstruction that you're measuring. So as you go higher, your camera in their model always angles further and further down. From memory, you can't even get it to beyond 90 degrees, even if you wanted to. So, for example, Ranty dug a hole and filmed Sparrow in Finesse from in a hole. He's below water level. He cannot not angle his camera up to get the shot, but you couldn't process that through their maths. You can't angle the camera up in their maths.
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding of the word level. But when they imagine a tangent, like McToons did last night, he was imagining a tangent to a horizontal plane. Now, that is the cognitive dissonance that they've got. Like he must be imagining some sort of a curve, and he kept saying it. You know, the water level is a tangent to the surface, but like the water level is the surface. And if that's defined as a horizontal plane, then you can't have a tangent to it. It'd just be a line on top of the horizontal plane.
Right, but that's what they're doing, isn't it? When you do it that's what they're doing in reality. They're drawing a line out to the vanishing point, and all you'd be drawing in side profile is a line on top of another line. Now, the fact that those two intersect with perspective is nigh irrelevant, because they're going to call that effect Earth curve, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. At the very beginning, I had to try to imagine the Al-Biruni. Right. So the whole concept of the Al-Biruni method is like, so you're standing at the beach and you've got the water lapping at your toes. The zenith is above you. So at 90 degrees from that zenith down to you would be horizontal. Now that is where your toes are, and the water goes out on that horizontal to your zenith, you know, at 90 degrees. Now I got him to admit that the horizon is off in the distance on that horizontal that comes from your toes at
Game
90
over.
degrees.
Game over.
Hello?
It's game over at that point.
Yeah. But so what I went to try and explain that as you rise up a mountain, then the horizontal that you then have would rise above the sea level at a distance that you go up the mountain, because the horizontal of your level is, you know, level with the other one. So that distance, that's how you measure height above sea level, altitude, elevation, or whatever. So what Al-Biruni does then is he measures, they call it a reciprocal zenith angle, but it's just really the drop from the horizontal that you would see from a height down to the horizontal of the sea level. And that particular measurement is the one that they then determine as Earth curve.
Yeah, he's drawing a
They
triangle.
put that into the calculations.
He's drawing a triangle to what will become their tangent point.
Oh, tangent points a bit.
Well,
Yeah,
the end of his. Well,
yeah.
my point is the end of his triangle. When he's looking down, he's calculating his dip angle. The point that triangle meets. So you've got your zenith. You've got a straight line down through the mountain, and then you've got a right angle. Now the only other point on that triangle is the geometric horizon.
Yeah. Well, the apparent horizon, isn't it?
No, not in there. No. As soon as we're talking about Al-Biruni, we're talking about a physical geometric sphere edge horizon. That's what he's measuring.
Yes, but in that, what he's doing is they're measuring, they're thinking that because they think in the flat Earth model that they think of, that the horizon does actually rise to eye level. Right, so because there is a difference, they then interpret that as a drop.
No, I get it. It's called the horizon dip measurement. That's what it's called. I get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't alter the fact that what he's drawing his triangle to is the geometric sphere edge from his vantage point.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah. I can't put a tangent there because, like I said at the beginning, if that line is a horizontal, then there's no like a tangent doesn't even come into it, really. Does it?
That's why I said game over.
Yeah,
as soon as you get them to agree that, well, from your zenith at the bottom of the mountain where you're going to draw a 90-degree. Oh, what's that? So we're going to have a straight line coming out from there then. So what tangent? Do you know what I mean? You're no longer dealing with it. You're extrapolating out a physical location that is the geometric sphere edge horizon for the geometry to be done from there, but you're acquiring it with this horizon dip measurement.
Did you say you had some clips of the show you wanted to share?
I put one in the Master B.
Want me to play it?
Yeah, if you want. It's him saying that how a water level should work on a
but it's
model.
the tangent to the surface. As I said, this is just
to the horizontal.
So here, just simple geometry. If you have a 2-mile long water level on the surface of a sphere, then the center of that water level is the tangent plane to the surface.
Is that higher than both ends of the water level?
Then it would be, yes.
Point?
It would.
On a sphere, the center of a water level would be higher than the outside tubes.
Correct. Absolutely.
Neptune's 2020.
Absolutely. Yeah? That is how it works.
So if
on
I
the surface of a sphere.
You that a water level was horizontal, would that disprove your sphere?
If you had measurements, absolutely. Got any measurements?
Water level is horizontal.
Got any measurements?
You want me to provide you with measurements that the water level in a canal is horizontal? True.
The entire surface of it, yes. Is the surface of that water of that canal? Is it matching a plane or does it curve? That's the question. And you haven't provided any measurements. You've just gone to a dictionary and said the dictionary says this on a plane, therefore we're on a plane. But you didn't test it. You didn't measure it. You're just making claims and assertions. Since you have no evidence, I'm just dismissing all of it. I have evidence, and you don't like it. I know you.
So prove water level is level. It's a fundamental principle used in building things. That's what they've got in their spirit levels. A bit of water with a bubble. Because water finds and maintains its level. It is horizontal. That's what it is. That's what defines it. What do you mean, prove it? What's he on about?
Hello. He says it's an assertion.
No, it's the other way round. The assertion is that water level is curved. That's the positive claim.
Yeah, I came to this quite a long time ago, like a very long time ago. It was like, if you want to measure a curvature, like you would get a surveyor in. Now, a surveyor would use a level to determine the height or drop or, the elevation change according to the level. He would have a level as a reference point. But, I mean, like, you very quickly come into the realization that these people think that very level curves.
Right. We've got a fundamental contradiction in terms of them acquiring two things in this instance. One is the level itself, i.e. the spirit level, the water level, the level horizontal. The second thing is their right angle when they drew a straight line from your vertical line through your zenith at the bottom of the mountain. In other words, well, you require things to be level to draw that straight line, but you're simultaneously telling that level's curved. Well, how are you getting that 90 degrees?
Yeah, that's the point. Is that the whole point focuses around perpendiculars, I think. Like, a vertical is known as being perpendicular to a horizontal. Now, Euclidean geometry would define that perpendicular as being both of the lines have to be straight. Like you can't curve a line and then put a perpendicular to it, because that would not fit within the definitions of what a perpendicular is through geometry.
That's no longer perpendicular, but that's what they require. They require lines that intersect to be perpendicular. And you're like, no. It's like when you describe the letter H. What they need is a letter H to become a letter A. And it isn't.
Yes. Very true. Yeah, the geometry that they've lost has, I don't know. I don't think that they've not got anything that can bring it back again.
No, that's absolutely correct. I recognised that quite early on. I told Quantum Eraser just how important that point was, because obviously he didn't get it, having developed the argument. So I told him, do you realise how important this is? It's the end of globe geometry. This is incredible. And he's like, yeah, I made the argument. I developed this argument. I was like, yeah, but do you realise?
Yeah. I think people like Fight the Flat Earth help us in a way, because he's touting now at the minute that science doesn't prove anything, but mathematics is the only way to get proof.
It's the other way around. So mathematics is dealing with the abstractions, not real, not physical, abstract. That's what maths is. Now, physics deals with the physical, and the scientific method establishes cause. It's also empirical. You either prove or disprove your hypothesis when you perform an experiment. You either verify that you've got the right cause of the effect, or you invalidate your incorrect assumption of that cause. But at the end of the experiment, you either validate or invalidate, prove or disprove your presumed cause of the effect. That's why the method is empirical and does absolutely progress humanity, because it proves things. Now, the problem that the fundies have at the moment is they're very quickly finding out that the way they've attributed this word science to things like geometric models that are abstract, they suddenly find that that doesn't prove anything. So they justify it by saying, well, science, which they're no longer talking about, not the infallible method validating cause, but their pseudoscience, often mathematics with the banner of science above it, doesn't actually prove anything. So by declaration, they state science doesn't prove anything, when in reality, they've never utilised science. They don't have any scientific evidence for anything when it comes to the heliocentric model. Literally not one iota. Nothing. Zero. Nada. No scientific evidence. Doesn't change the fact that they'll claim the whole body of science proves we're on a sphere. Loosely translated. The whole body of what we call science, actually pseudoscience, proves nothing. Science, on the other hand, definitely proves or disproves a hypothesis. That's why it's an empirical method. Very, very useful for benefiting humanity.
Yeah, I think Bertrand Russell put the mathematics and the concepts of geometry and all of that sort of stuff down to a logical process as well. So I would say that it's the logical process that develops all of this stuff. Science, geometry, mathematics, all of it is derived from logical statements and how that works and how the statements are put together to give you proofs.
No.
That's the whole point of it.
No. Science and the scientific method were derived through philosophy. Derived doesn't change the empirical nature of science. Now, the quote you sent, Bev, no offence, said that geometry was an exact science. It isn't.
Yeah.
But the rest of the statement was perfectly adequate. It was correct in terms of describing the axioms that are required, and you've done a very good job this morning of doing exactly that, or this afternoon for us in Britain. Anyway, the assertion in that instance when talking about mathematics or geometry was that it's science, and it isn't. But that's another useful tool by the people who have misunderstood what science actually is, or, more likely, misappropriated what has been trained into us as empirical to bolster their assertions when utilising an abstract method. Now, Adam Meakin went through this the other day on, I can't remember if it was this show or Ballbusters, one or the other, but he explains exactly that. You can draw your correlations and you can work within the confines of those assumptions that you still have at the end of correlating group tests and various other things. But you still have to be very mindful that that's precisely what you're doing. You're not necessarily proving anything, just drawing correlations. Now, mathematical correlations might be useful when you've got a particular set of constraints that you're going to work within. But as soon as you start to work outside of those constraints, that's where the problems develop. The same applies with modelling things. So if you look at the constraints of a model and then utilise that to gain a better understanding of something, that's perfectly acceptable. It's only when you work outside the constraints of the model, which becomes, in our instance, reification on the part of the globe heads. They turn that which is a model, a conceptualisation, a way of looking at something, a way of philosophising, into the ground we're standing on. And that's reification. But doesn't change the useful nature of a model. I'm sure the philosophers who developed the heliocentric model found it very useful to track the patterns of the stars. Wrap their head around it. Not wrap the stars around the bloody world, which is what the heliocentric model does if you reify it into the ground you're standing on.
I was more thinking of the proofs within geometry, as in Pythagoras' theorem and the like, bridge of asses. You know, the proof that you can gain through geometry, as in a triangle has 180 degrees. You know, that there is a proof, yeah, isn't there?
Well, as I say, when you sent the thing that said it's a science.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, that was just a bit of a joke. That.
You know, well, no, but by the same token, he's still saying it, but everything else he said was correct. The axioms hold absolutely true. When you're describing a triangle, then you're going to have those aspects, the 180 degrees. If you're describing a right-angle triangle, you're going to have your 90 degrees. You're going to have a horizontal and a vertical. All of these principles and the axioms that are wrapped up in those geometric terms were all described perfectly accurately. And you're right. Like I say, when you're working within those constraints, when you're translating the physical, actual world into side-on view geometry, well, then you've worked outside the constraints of that and that method and its axioms. I'm going to start the live show.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, and this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Bev Try Thinking, Chocolate Sane, 10th Man, Righteous Force, Paul Hall, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning, all.
Evening.
Good morning.
Yo.
Hello.
I've gone through a bit of a change, so you can see me in a while.
Good to have you, Paul.
What's up, Paul? What?
So I trimmed out yesterday's housekeeping sections. It took me hours. They're only like 2-minute clips, but it still took me hours and hours and hours. And I'm going to release them over the next few days, or maybe the next day. We'll see how it goes. I've just got to do the thumbnails for them, which I'm doing slowly. So I'll release those as 1-minute videos. But if you want a sort of quick summary of each housekeeping question, the question being asked, the answer being given, potential rebuttals, those are being published now under the title Any Evidence ? So check them out. There's also another 3 that I did in regards to housekeeping that were more like semi-debate style, so a lot more of the intricacies and interwindings of each of those questions got discussed. So in other words, it's a more all-encompassing discussion because you've got things like the overlap between gravity and the vacuum of space discussed in one sort of group discussion, with a little bit of debate as well. So yeah, go check out those. In the meantime, hello Owen.
Hello.
Hello. Should we do a bit of housekeeping? Any signs of physical Earth curve edge?
I mean, a geometrical array?
Only in the reification model of a globe.
Yeah, marked with an X labelled horizon. Doesn't exist in reality geometric horizon in their model. No, I'm talking about actual Earth curve edges.
I did get told last night that Jesse Kozlowski has measured curvature.
Wicked, get him on here.
Yeah,
Get him
I
to
will do.
present what
Yeah,
he's measured.
excellent. Yeah. I don't know whether the main surveyor measuring not parallel plumb lines as well, is that count as curvature?
Sorry, that's a contradiction in terms. Say that again.
The main surveyor, and last night, as told by McToons in the debate we had, he stated that both the main surveyor had measured non-parallel plumb lines, and Jesse Kozlowski has measured a curvature. Did you know about this?
No, but
never been in,
I'll just say it again because you repeated it. Thank you. That's a contradiction in terms. If they're plumb lines, they're going to be parallel with each other. That's what a plumb line is.
Yeah.
So someone's showing a fundamental contradiction in regards to one of the axioms of geometry. Is that what he's claiming? He's not showing that. He can't. That's an impossibility and a contradiction in terms. So the first he's definitely not showing. However, if you're saying that the second, i.e. Jesse Kozlowski showing curvature, is dependent on the first, then he definitely hasn't shown curvature.
Yes, he has modelled the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge. That's definitely got a curvature in that. The model that he's done. That was Jesse Kozlowski. I've been trying to talk to him for quite a while, actually, about this stuff that he's supposedly done, but he doesn't want to talk. Just keep getting referred to videos.
I see.
little weird that somebody who's measured curvature doesn't want to talk to anybody about it. Just shut this whole thing down immediately.
Exactly.
What's up?
Yeah, you'd think he'd pass his method on to everybody and say, well, it's obvious and easy, we're on a sphere, as opposed to shutting down and referring people to circle jerk videos. There we go, that's life, I suppose. Any evidence of axial rotation?
Nope. Not of the Earth-based variety. It's definitely stationary.
Absolutely not.
Any evidence the distance to the sun?
Seems to be over there.
What is the sun again?
I don't know. Any evidence the distance to it, whatever it may be, and however you worship it?
No evidence in science, not even any actual evidence in the Bible. Ah, I said it.
What is it? Party poet? Getting a lot of feedback from you, my friend. Did you want to add something?
No.
Pop yourself on mute if you would. You're giving us a load of feedback. Any scientific...
An Egyptian god once tried measuring the distance.
An Egyptian god? Good, tell me more.
Yeah, he burned his wings off though.
Oh, Icarus. Is that Egyptian? I thought that was Greek.
Yeah. Or Greek, yeah.
Nah, I think he's bluffing. He just flew off and then figured out, oh, damn it. It moves with me lockstep because it's at the edge of my vision. Okay, well, I can't go back without a story, so I'll just go down and, like, I don't know, put some oil on my wings, set it on fire or something, and then go back to the village, tell them, like, yeah, I burned my wings. See, I went there. Sorry, that's my version.
So what primary source evidence have you got for Icarus?
I read it in a book.
Moving on. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What's that again?
No, there's no hypothesis, really, no viable concerning gravity. Not throughout history at any point, really. The only thing that's kind of viable is just the relative density theory. Very basic.
Go on,
Beyond that,
So it's horseshit.
Go on, Unbelievable Productions.
I dropped my phone once.
You have to pick it up first for it to be in a position to drop.
They have a term for that.
Hold on one sec.
Called
Go
a
ahead,
drop
Neil.
call.
Hold on, 10th man. Go ahead, Neil. Or maybe not. Go ahead, 10th man.
I said they have a term for that. It's called a drop call.
Dropped call.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. So let's just...
I was saying that everything works. Standing on a globe, water's stuck to it. Come on, that's proof of gravity.
A couple of quick quotes. Gravity is not a force. George Musa, 2019. Also, quote, gravity is not really a force at all, end quote. Brian Cox, I think it was 2016. Might be 2015. Gravity is definitely not a force. It's not forcing anything to do anything. It's just a bending of a concept called space-time.
right. It's an
No,
effect.
it's its own entity.
Yeah, relative density disequilibrium if you're talking about dropping a mic or a phone. So the phone, when it's sat on the floor, is in equilibrium. It's not moving anywhere. It's not dropping at all until you pick it up. But then you're forcing it out of equilibrium or into disequilibrium. And then when you release it, it returns from whence it came. That's it. Forcing things out of equilibrium and then dropping them isn't showing gravity. In the same way, you could let go of a helium balloon and it'd go up. Now, don't get me wrong, I know they've got a whole bunch of narratives that go along with this to justify away something that is very simply explained by relative density. Or, to put it more succinctly, just density. Moving on.
Can't be that simple.
It is that simple.
Can I? Oh, sorry. Can I point out for a second that just Nick in chat? I rarely mention him, but he seems very nostalgic to the days when they could still snipe us, because he's talking about sniping. Just nostalgic trolls.
Yeah, back in the days when we started, we were overrun in what seemed like a losing position. Often 10 ballers versus me, being very, very quiet. And if any conversation got going that even hinted at being a win for a flat earther, then obviously more globers would pile in and just kick the flat earther out. Now that can't happen. It's very quiet around here now. Obviously, the flat earthers massively outweigh the globe heads. But you'd think if it was a done deal, obviously observably a globe, they'd just be smashing us all day long every day. Instead of that, we're utilising scientific evidence, natural law, to show why it's not a sphere. Demonstrate how their ideas and models are philosophy only, how they're untenable in terms of the R value. That's what we're doing. Do we have much opposition? Well, no, because we're winning. Because we're right. Any single... Go on, Arwin.
No, just totally agree. Go on.
Go on, Chocolate.
I bet you when that was happening back then, they didn't think sometime in 2020, a few years later, they'd be saying things like, we've never seen the geometric horizon that we're currently calling the curve. Yeah, we've never seen the curve. Yeah. You can't see it because we have an atmosphere.
Zip Rom, I think his name is something like that. And he's, where's the curvature? Where? That was us screaming, where's the curvature? Then they came along and told us, here's the curvature, it's in this model. All you do is you turn what you see side on, remove all aspects of perspective and atmospheric conditions, substitute said atmospheric conditions for an R-based refraction value called terrestrial refraction, and Bob's your uncle. Perspective becomes Earth curve. There's your Earth curve, it's in this here model. Fast forward to 2020, as Chocolate's just pointed out, and we don't see a geometric horizon ever. It's not possible. It only exists in a thought experiment.
And now they don't have math either.
Yeah, got nothing. They've got nothing to hang their hat on anymore. Demanding that we accept that they presuppose R doesn't fly anymore because R doesn't work. It's been debunked by the Black Swan. Moving on. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Nope.
Nope.
But they definitely going to the office and turning your computer on and filling in some math. They call that science, though. Among other things.
About 10th man. Dealing with some scientist. 10th man. Did he ever get an answer from that lady?
Oh no, Becky's definitely not got the picture.
No. Many attempts, but no response.
I saw a thumbnail from her today that said, I'm going to capture the moon with science. That was the thumbnail, I think. And then in the thumbnail it said something about electromagnetism. I didn't need to watch the video to know that she's full of shit. She's not using science at all. She doesn't know what science is if she thinks that by describing the idea of capturing the moon with electromagnetism would be in any way scientific. It's just utter nonsense. She doesn't know what science is.
You seem to be ignoring the PhD that she's got hanging right there on her screen. Don't ignore that. That means something.
Well, no. Science is a method. A thought experiment about a light in the sky called the moon isn't science. It's just some ideas she's got. Not science. That would be the scientific method. But she's not performing that. She might get close to step 1, observing a phenomena. That's about it.
Well, she might have an uncle named Bob.
She's doing the Michio Kaku version of pseudoscience, which is guesswork, leaps of logic. That's what she's doing. Leaps of logic and guesswork. Definitely not the scientific method. Not any empiricism attached to any word she says. Literally nothing PhD Becky has got to say has anything to do with science, but she puts it on every thumbnail. Well, I'm exaggerating, I've seen it on one. She's put it on that thumbnail because she wants the validity that the word science offers. So when she makes up a little story and she's got a PhD hanging behind her and she puts science on the thumbnail, people think she's talking sense, even though she's just making up stuff as she goes along. Not validating it with systematic experimentation required to offer any empiricism and call it science. No, she's not doing that. 10th Man's approached her about hypotheses. She hasn't got any. Moving on. Any evidence of the R value? Earth radius?
Well, I don't think they're really set anymore into what it's supposed to be. They think now it's become flexible, some of them.
That's
R
hypocrisy.
is not what it used to be.
It's not as fixed and certain as it used to be. Well, it should be. They're using it in geometry and claiming physicality based on that presupposition that now doesn't work based on the black swan. So that's very unfortunate if you're going to make an assertion of physical geometry, i.e. we're standing on a sphere, based on that R value. That would be physically, literally set in stone. A very big sphere-shaped stone. It's not. It's just a thought experiment.
A Greek god once flew up in the sky and saw the round Earth.
Is this Icarus again?
A Greek god named Hermes once flew up in the sky and he saw that the Earth was round.
Got any primary source evidence for this god?
I read it in a book.
Yeah, well, what book? Was it his diary?
Wikipedia.
That's not really a book, but I'll let you off. I'm just toying with
Don't we have an astrophysicist that says that you can't see the curve from 128,000 feet? So did he just take down Hermes?
Well, he's also wrong, according to their rhetoric at least, given that he's a heliocentric priest.
Can I ask, did you see Mr. Sensible's video about his when he doesn't seem to understand the black swan argument, and you obviously saw the one where he went with Mitchell, and he went through the whole premise of the black swan, the P and the Q, and he denied the consequent, no, not Q. He went through the whole process of that thing, and at the end of it, he seems to think now that he didn't disprove R. Did you see that video where he's asking people to put videos out to state?
It's in Anthony Riley's responses to him. So
Yeah.
no,
Well,
the only thing I've paid
he put one
attention
out
to...
specifically to you. Have you seen that?
No, unless it was to do with
No.
the black swan. So the videos...
It is. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's to do with that. The very bit where he went through with the Mitchell thing.
Okay.
Mitchell takes him through the black swan argument, and he replies every time.
Yes. He nods along. Yep. So he says, if P, he describes what P is, Earth being a sphere with a radius of 3959. Reply from Mr. Sensible, yes. Then he says, then every distance to horizon will be no more than 1.2 times the observer's height, or the square root of the observer's height in feet. Reply from Mr. Sensible, yes. And then he goes through the Earth not being a sphere based on the black swan argument, and he says, at best, what you have done is debunk the radius. That was his reply after agreeing to the modus tollens. You can't not agree to the modus tollens. It's absolutely watertight, logically sound, based on their model. They claim they've got a radius of 3959. That's the P. Yeah, that's true. Well, then the distance to horizon will be the same as in your geometric model, as you assert. Yes, that would absolutely be the case. We've argued about it for 4 years. Well, the distance to horizon's way more than that in the black swan. Therefore, we haven't got the geometric horizon asserted in the model. Well, all you've done is debunk the geometric model and its radius value. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's bleating and moaning, saying, well, I haven't said that. Well, he thinks if he just says, I didn't really say that enough, people will believe him. He's just a moron.
Yeah.
He's saying that he didn't say that?
Yeah, he's not only saying that, he's using the attack as the best form of defense by saying, I've asked people to show where I've said this and no one's shown it. And in Anthony's response videos, like, here's my video, here's your comment in my video where I show you saying it. It was trimmed out of 3 other people, including myself, I'll add, where I trim out him saying it, having nodded along and confirmed the argument. So it's just bullshit. It's just embarrassed.
Wow. What a loser.
I think what it shows
They have
is that
no shame.
They just don't understand the logical argument, the whole logic process that is gone through with the modus tollens. They just don't understand it.
So he agreed to the Q.
He doesn't understand.
He agreed to it. So why would other people say then, oh, it's a straw man?
Well, because
Are they not even on the same page with each other?
Let me answer. When they say P is a straw man, and the P is if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, they're saying, well, it's a straw man to assert that the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959. Reply from us, welcome to Flat Earth. If you think P is a straw man, well, then that's the claim of your sphere Earth, based on its assumed R value. So declaration, this is where Chris was like, well, you tell me why it would be a straw man if I'm making that assertion. In other words, argue this point for me. Well, their point, to argue it for him, would be that the straw man is that Earth isn't a sphere with a radius of 3959 as declared in the P statement. Welcome to Flat Earth. No, you're right, Earth isn't a sphere with a 3959 radius. That would be a straw man. Yeah, we agree. Idiots. But the point, back to Mr. Sensible.
I've heard a different version of that where they say that Q is the straw man because they don't believe that every horizon distance can be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. They don't believe it. They think it's based on a belief.
Well,
so they say it's a straw man.
Again, welcome to Flat Earth, because if the idea that the physical geometric measurements imply are wrong, then welcome to Flat Earth. The Q statement is based on geometry. Their geometry, the geometry they've come here for 4 years and argued with, their earth curve maths. That's their geometry. And their geometry is based on a fixed physical R value, giving them a fixed geometric sphere edge horizon. And when they say, well, the statement that every distance to horizon can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, that's a straw man. Well, no, that's dictated by your geometry. That's what your geometry is claiming when you say boats go over the horizon, or this building's being obscured by the horizon. That's your geometry and its geometric assertions. To assert that that's a straw man is welcome to Flat Earth as a reply. But just back to Mr. Sensible. The problem he's got is he doesn't appreciate that the model is asserting a physicality to the Earth we stand on, based on R. That's your geometry, your physicality, your sphere-shaped Earth with physical sphere-shaped geometry. When they say, well, we don't claim that the distance to the sphere edge horizon would be 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, it can be refracted. Well, then you're proving out the justification for it being called a black swan. As soon as you declare that it's not a geometric horizon, it's refracted, then it's not a geometric horizon. As required by your model necessitates one. Hence, it's a black swan. All horizons can no longer be asserted as the geometric sphere edge in your geometric model, claiming to show us how physically sphere-shaped the Earth we stand on is. So saying, well, we don't see that physical claim to be proof in the physical geometric horizon, it's refracted, so we don't make that claim. Well, then you haven't got anything to hang the geometry on. The geometry implodes. It fails. You require the R value. It's absolutely needed to assert the physicality of a sphere.
What did they used to call the geometric horizon, Nathan?
Earth curve. They used to call it Earth curve.
That old thing.
Can I just point out the fact as well that we have a modus tollens which is denying the consequent. They could quite easily, if they wanted to, modus ponens it and affirm the consequent.
That's not. No. Those are 4 things: modus tollens, modus ponens. If A then B, A then B. That's modus ponens, and the black swan argument is modus tollens. Those are both logical consistency arguments. Denying the consequent and affirming the consequent are 2 logical fallacies. So these you've just described 4 things.
What? No, not the antecedent. The consequent. You either
denying the antecedent is also a logical fallacy. If they're buried together, they existed together. Not buried together, therefore didn't exist together. That's denying the antecedent. That's a logical fallacy. It's definitely not modus ponens or modus tollens. Sorry.
But wouldn't modus ponens be them affirming the consequent? You know, like the horizon is there, so therefore.
No, affirming the consequent is if I eat 10 hamburgers, I am full. I am full. Therefore, I just ate 10 hamburgers. I've just had 10 pints of lager.
No,
that's affirming the consequent.
Argument. Can you do it within the Black Swan argument or QE's?
Yeah, if P, the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, then Q, every distance to horizon measurement will be 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Not Q, distance to horizon further than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Therefore, not P. The Earth is not a sphere with a radius of 3959. That's modus tollens.
Yeah. So if you was to do modus ponens within that, then you would affirm the horizon always being at that position, wouldn't you? That would then affirm the sphere, but they are unable to affirm the consequence.
Right. What you're saying is it would turn into, as a statement, modus ponens. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to horizon measurement must be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And then you say the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 because every distance to horizon measurement is no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's what they'd have to assert as a defence. What you're saying is...
they can't do it, can they?
Well, no.
No. That's why it works as a modus tollens. It doesn't work as a modus ponens. They can't have it.
It was just hold on, chocolate. That's correct. So you can't restate the argument as modus ponens because the logical consistency debunks the first part of the statement. The P statement is essentially debunked within the logical consistency. That doesn't make it a logical fallacy. It just means you're debunking the first statement. But it's still a logical consistency. Both of them are. Modus ponens, modus tollens, both logical consistencies, not logical fallacies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, in order for them to say it's a straw man, you know, this modus tollens is a straw man, they could quite easily give you a modus ponens on that argument to prove that it is a straw man. Couldn't they? You know, like your statement is false because...
Exactly, because I can demonstrate that the logical consistency offered by the Earth being a sphere with 3959 radius and the dictation that physicality would show you a horizon at this physical fixed location. Well, that's what a sphere does. Therefore, here's it doing it, and you will never show it doing anything else because it's a sphere. Yeah. But here's us showing the black swan going, no, that rapes your geometry. Bye-bye geometry. Bye-bye R value. Bye-bye geometric horizon. Refracted, so not geometric. Yet that's the end of the globe. That's the end of your geometry. That's the end of your maths. That's the end of your physical assertions of a sphere edge horizon. Bye-bye, globe Earth.
That's how solid this modus tollens is. It is rock solid. And for them to state that it is a straw man is, I don't know.
It's welcome to flat Earth. Oh, it's a straw man. The Earth is not a sphere with radius 3959. The P statement's wrong. Yeah, you're right. The Earth is not a sphere. It definitely doesn't have a fixed radius of 3959 offering you physical geometry to assert we're standing on a sphere. That's right, straw man. Yeah, welcome to flat Earth. Oh, no, I misunderstand. It's actually the Q statement. Geometry's wrong. Geometry wouldn't give us a fixed distance, 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, because we don't have these fixed geometric distances. It's refracted. Oh, really? So not fixed geometric distances proving sphereness? Well, welcome to flat Earth. Yeah, straw man is just a welcome to flat Earth answer.
I think you should change that, Nathan. I think you should say, then get the hell off of flat Earth, because I don't want to welcome any of these people. They're annoying.
Not my flat Earth. They're all on it anyway. The fact they don't know it and they've got this idea of being on a sphere, that's all it is, an idea that they walk around with in their head while they walk upon a flat plane. That's all the heliocentric model is. A philosophical way of looking at the world. Thinking about it. I say metaphorically looking at it, because you're not looking at it, you're looking at a model. The real world is the real world. Obviously, an observably flat perspective is real, not something that you can turn side on and exclude in a model. That's obviously a bastardisation of reality. You don't see the side of your own head, and we do experience perspective. And all the photos ever compared to the maths utilising geometry, which is now debunked. Apparently, we don't have geometry. We've got refracted horizons. So, debunked model, not useful. We're not on a sphere. It's just, that was just how people thought they were experiencing the world. They weren't. In their head, they were. So what? It's all in your head, mate. We're not on a sphere.
Jedi mind trick.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of that presupposed spherical Earth?
We don't live on a sphere.
Paul Voigt is still working on that.
My son did it in his homework. Well, not homework, revision when we were doing homeschooling. He had to do that. Label the 4 bits of the Earth.
What is it? Crust, core, mantle. What's the other one?
An outer layer, was it? No. Crust,
can't
core.
remember.
Yeah, there's a couple bits in the middle, but he did label it curved water surface on the outside as he was labeling it.
Lovely. Yeah, definitely no evidence. Stony silence every time that question's asked. Beyond the textbooks, there's no evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core beyond the Curie point. Anyway.
But why is it in the textbooks then? Why is it in the textbooks? That's what I want to know.
Just like religious education, I suppose. State religion is heliocentrism. And you're in a state school, so they're going to teach you.
Yeah, we did get a chance to have a word with him that, they've never dug down any further than 8 miles, so it is a bit of conjecture, They can't actually prove any of that, so.
Yeah, but they've got a whole story that goes along with it, though. They've got an origin story.
Yeah, well, he also got to learn that as well, because he has to learn that he has to learn it. You can't just teach your children to just ignore something that the teachers are telling them, so you have to go over the conversation. You have to learn it, but you also have to understand that the teachers are just telling you this because it's wrote down in their books that, You
just explain it like it is. You say it's a philosophy. A way of conceptualizing the world. Just explain to the child, as long as they're of an age that's sufficient to comprehend this, just explain what visualization actually is, or what the idea of conceptualization, although it's a big word for a child to wrap their head around, what conceptualization is. It's just a way of thinking about it. So in the same way, you could say, well, there's a car over there, and in your mind, if you're designing a Porsche, you've got to think about how the Porsche will look. But the Porsche in your mind isn't real, it's just your way of getting an idea of how it will look. And this is our way of getting an idea of how the world would operate. It doesn't mean we are actually standing on a sphere, it just means that's a way of understanding how the stars move.
Yeah, we get into a bit of a conversation about what he has actually been taught about it, and it appears that he didn't really know much. He's not been taught anything. He's got a P1000, so he sees the world as he sees it, and he understands it as such. He didn't seem to have such knowledge that he's been taught, anything about it, which I think stands true for most people in schools nowadays. That whatever the model is put into them at a very, very young age. I mean, the globe model on the National Geographic thing says it's for key stage 1 and 2. That's very early learning. And from that point, I don't think there's much globe taught, to be honest.
No, just that a lot of the premise that you'll get taught in geography, for instance. So when we were looking at the National Geographic explanation of what a horizon is, they're all describing the geometric horizon. They all reference back to the same thing, a geometric physical sphere edge horizon. That's what they're describing. So therefore,
I don't think they do, actually. If you read most of them, that they're just a horizontal position.
No,
when you technically read them.
No, their only horizontal position is their imaginary horizon. All of the rest are describing the geometric horizon. They all reference back to the same thing. Just trust me on this, they do. My point being that as a general way of teaching, all of your other things that reference back, albeit subtly, are referencing back to a heliocentric world. So your horizon is described in an art class as being the vanishing point, but in your geography class it's described as a geometric horizon. That's what it's defined as. So it just subtly indoctrinates you. You don't necessarily have to overtly program people with this. Plus the general consensus amongst people, because you get it at Key Stage 1, is to have a kind of sense of wonderment about the stars and look into what the mainstream says about it. Maybe watch some Discovery Channel, you know what I mean? And that's normally where your average Joe kid gets his ideas about this heliocentric model, and then they impress their mates by telling them this little bit of extra knowledge that they knew about the heliocentric model that wasn't given to them by the teachers. They just had a vague idea, and then they went and looked at it on Wiki.
Nathan, you've said before, and I just posted it, the Earth is obviously and observably flat and stationary. This is everybody's experience and reality. So even the ballers are on the flat, stationary Earth. They have to go to their model, reify it, and live in this philosophy and conceptualizing in their mind. That's why it's a Jedi mind trick. It's not reality.
Yeah, basically. Track back the origins of your calculator for proving physicality of a sphere-shaped Earth, and the starting point is your horizon being a thought experiment. Geometric considerations being made. In other words, imagine it as being physical, and then here you go, do the maths for how physical it is and how much it's blocking stuff. And obviously, as we've now found, should anybody challenge the idea of it being physical, tell them it isn't. What's your problem? It's not physical. We never see the physical horizon. Now let's calculate how much boats go over it.
One of the funniest things is watching Neil deGrasse Tyson sitting in that building with the big window behind him, talking to a guy in an interview, saying, "Do you actually know we're spinning at 800 and some miles an hour right now?" It's totally still. What a bust up.
Yeah, the guy grips the arms on his chair and goes, "No way!" Didn't notice.
It's faster than Mach 1 jet speed, but trust me, we're spinning.
I think we've got one last housekeeping question. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
No. Nope.
Cool. That's it for housekeeping today. Hey, Chemo. There, Chemo. Typically Spurs comes in when he's got something to say. Something to regale us with. Obviously not today. About you, Kosho. Have you come in for something today?
But Nathan, you should be doing more.
Oh, God. No, Kosho's not around either. What else we got in here? Mobius. Hello, Mobius. Can you start moving some of these people to the after show or woodshed? Because we've got a full panel. No conversation from Discord. Thank you, whoever moved some people. Shout out to Retro Bill. Let's just read it on my other screen, as I butchered it last time. Retro Bill says, Mark Taylor will be surprised when he counts his money and realises that my super chats are coming directly from his bank account.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
Very funny. Thank you very much for the super chat, Retro Bill. I'm pretty certain it is coming out of your own back pocket, so thank you. I really do appreciate your support. Right, who else haven't we spoken to in Discord? Globus Trollins. How you doing?
Good evening.
Globus Trollins.
Great name, innit?
What a name.
I don't even care if you're a globehead with that name.
I'm surprised Chemo didn't answer. He's here for a specific reason. We were sort of waiting for all the flat Earth talk to sort of subside, and then when you had a spare moment, we were going to sort of involve you guys in a little bit of a debate we've been having lately, but it's sort of not related to flat Earth, so I didn't want to bring it up. But he didn't reply, so we may leave it till the after show.
What, can you give us a vague idea of what it was about? We've exhausted housekeeping and discussed it for a fair period. You know, we've got a quarter of an hour left on the show, so I don't mind talking about something else.
Okay, sure. It's 5G related.
I knew it. I knew it.
You asked for it.
I knew it. I knew that was what it was going to be.
Did he say Sean G?
No, 5G. Okay, fine. I mean, I'll keep my opinions to myself if he actually pipes up. He's gone though, isn't he? Spurs isn't in here. Maybe he's been moved to the after show. We're not talking.
Well, I was in. He has been moved to the after show. I was in Gen Panda server about an hour ago, and we were having a heated discussion. I've had this discussion with him previously, but like I said, that's why he's here. I'm guessing because we said that we would meet here, and I really wanted to wait for QE to come online as well because I would really like his input on it as well.
He's got no opinion on it. I asked him. He's got no opinion on it.
Oh, really? Because the thing is that there's claims of effects, you know, cause and effect relationships. So that's why I'd say he may have an opinion on that. That's all I wanted to sort of talk to him about.
You may not be aware. It came up on the show. I can't remember who it was I was discussing it with. It doesn't really matter. But the point was, I think it was Arwin, actually. Hey, Arwin. But I've lost track of my point now. Doesn't... Go on,
Yeah.
Arwin. Oh, yes, causal relationships. That got discussed. So I pulled that apart and then asked QE for his opinion. Now, given that I'd already asked for what scientific validity had been offered to these claims, and there was none offered, you know, there was tangential
No, not
claims.
at that time by me. That's right.
I knew I'd get
because
rumpus
I'm
by
not
Arwin.
a
I knew
direct
it.
researcher.
I knew it.
I have gone through measures of actually getting it, though. But that's...
I don't know, your start of your conversation interrupted the middle of mine, so go ahead, Arwin. Do you want to repeat that?
Yeah, well, you put me on the spot, said, yeah, hand it all over. Like I'm some researcher ready to present this to the entire world like that. No, I'm not. But I've since did get into somebody that does know that and getting some links. But yeah, guess what? A lot of the sources are being deleted. Like literally. Got links, injected, it's gone. Like the site is just down.
Fair enough. Obviously, we don't want to rehash that. We've had our conversation. Arwin, we've had our conversation. Check out yesterday's Uncut and After Show, 11:39, if you want to hear me and Arwin go back and forth on it. But I'm more interested to hear Spurs and Globus Trollins, as obviously they're going to have different views to you and I. What side of the argument were you on, Globus Trollins?
Well, I think, on the same boat as you, Nathan. I'm asking for evidence. I'm not getting presented with any. When I do ask for it, I get presented with, in my opinion, global level reasoning, because I get a lot of correlation, a lot of, well, Kimo actually admitted at the end, kind of a concession of sorts that, that he was saying that it does require belief. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're sounding kind of like a glober, my friend. So yeah, that's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for any evidence whatsoever. So far, nothing. So yeah, that's why I'm skeptical. And all I've seen is just fear porn, fear porn, fear porn. And when someone's trying to manipulate the way I think or whether I should fear something, been there before, that's all.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of waters being muddied, that's for sure. But yeah, as I said, I haven't kept a journal because I was a lazy bastard and I thought everything would be all right 10 years ago when this happened in my country. Well, I haven't kept track of it all. I wish I did right now because then I could shove all that research in your face with actual
Right.
sources before it all got deleted.
I told you, you all need to be terrified. Is that what you want? Shout out to Emma UK.
No. That's what you keep straw man responding with every time I bring it up. Because I've never used the word fear a
That's what it
single
is.
time.
Sorry.
And I am not
Hold on,
afraid either.
Hold on.
I'm
Can
pissed off, but
I
not
let
afraid.
that slide, Darwin. So you're saying could kill us, killing birds and trees, but not fear. Okay, got it. Clear. Thanks for that. Shout out to Emma UK. Sean G is after a debate with Anthony. She says, winky face. Thank you very much for the super chat, Emma UK. Check out Emma UK. She's got a channel. 3 dots. Go to channel. Subscribe today.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking for a hypothesis of sorts. I know it was a tall order, but I sort of got one, and it was something along the lines of, if you change the EMF, then you cause red blood cells to not carry oxygen. So yeah, that's when I started to ask for experiments, and yeah, nothing so far. That's all.
You're not going to get any scientific method.
Denmark, 250 scientists. I'm trying to find the sources with the complete output, which would be hundreds of pages of long-term testing research on all forms of life. Yeah, they did that. Pretty sure they did. Or people that I've known, okay, for a long time, that I've trusted my life with, and they've gave me a lot in return. They've all just been liars, complete and utter satanic liars from the start. Okay, so those are the options for me.
That sounds terrifying.
No, it's not. It's not terrifying. I've seen that shit. I felt it. As I said, Arwin, I've been in proximity to those things, and it hurts my bones before I even know it's there. I walk in a region, hurts me, look around, oh, guess what's said over there? Yeah, one of those things. Yeah, hurts me.
Are you sure?
Not afraid. Not afraid. I'm not afraid. It just pisses me off.
Okie dokie. So what, we should go and burn down these towers because it pisses you off?
Did you say the word scientists? Is that what you were? Was that part of your argument?
They burn down the towers. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get in terms of science. We're talking about man-made equipment. So where are we gonna get this?
Well, that's right. Well, they're claiming a cause though. They've isolated what they say. Yeah, they've isolated the cause. I'm calling bullshit on the effect. That's all.
Right.
I don't. But I will shove this shit in your face. I will do a full hour presentation and mirror it everywhere, put the raw file everywhere, because I'm pretty sure that when I do, my channel's going to be taken down, because every time I try to look for the real data, the real experiments that have been done by scientists that use that technology that is being applied right now and applied
religion
on
I'm attacking your religion, and you're getting aggressive. I had the same with people in 24/7, the same with chemo. You get aggressive when I attack beliefs. That's all I'm asking. Look, I don't think they're a good thing either, but I'm basing that on just beliefs as well. But I want solid evidence, and I'm pressuring you for it. You say that there is. You said the word scientists.
Yes.
Okay, bring it on then.
Organic researchers, people that do research on organic matter and effects on it.
Fine. Can we see that? Can we see
actual things?
Can we see the research? I don't expect.
Yeah, I want to see it too. I want to get the raw data too. It's very hard to find right now.
You're the one making the argument. That's the point. The point is, up until this point, I'm not going to say I'm the pioneer in stopping conspiratards in their tracks, but as far as I can
you.
see, it's just the floodgates.
you,
Arwen, you're very
conspiratard.
triggered and talking through me. Can you stop
Yeah, well,
doing
don't
that,
call me
please?
conspiratard, asshole.
Sorry, you've got no evidence to back this. You've got belief, but yet you're punting it as though it's hurting your bones and people need to be scared of it, while simultaneously telling me you're not
really?
scared and we
so
don't need to be
that's just
fearful.
me-
And you're
that's my
talking through every
imagination,
single
right?
word I say,
It's just
like
my
a triggered,
imagination that it hurts
like
my
a
bones.
triggered
Just my
conspiratard.
imagination. I'm just a conspiratard, right?
Yeah,
Dickhead.
yeah. Well, you don't like it. Tough luck.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna call you a dickhead then.
Well, that's
Tough
fine.
luck.
I am.
It hurts me.
This is what I'm saying.
You're a
Everyone's having these
conspiracy
global-like reactions to this. It's spreading through a lot of flat earthers. Like they're the main ones propagating it.
It's the 5G.
It's caused, but yeah, that's what it's
we'd
the
expect
cause.
you to say that, Mr. Ether. We would expect you to say that.
I'm
So
open-minded and I look into
I
other
also
stuff.
destroyed you on Gem Panda server. So don't come around here propagating
All
your
you
bullshit.
gave me was a closed-minded, very narrow, very narrow-minded approach. That's all that you gave me.
Okay, fair
you
enough.
You need to look into the EMF research that shows the effect of EMF signals on the body. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. So you were here.
Show me the
yesterday.
research then.
Hold
I'm
on,
asking
hold on.
for
Just
it.
1 second. I just want to ask Lemonbird
I
if he did.
put Graham's hundreds of EMF studies in the chat. I'll put it in this chat too. Hold on. It's got hundreds of EMF studies on EMF's effects on the body. EMF, electromagnetic frequency.
Okie dokie. So yesterday I gave an example with Bluetooth and told you needed to be scared of it. Did you go away and check out the detrimental health effects of Bluetooth? Or are we still stuck on 5G?
It's the quality and strength of the signal that counts, not just the amount of electricity. This is the thing that people don't get. There's different types of electricity. There's gentle sinusoidal electromagnetic signals. There's jagged and intermittent electromagnetic signals that are more harmful to the body than a gentle continuous flow of electricity. There's all sorts of parameters here that need to be looked into. The type of electricity, the strength of the electricity, the quality of the electricity, the continuity of the electricity. That influences the electrical field and how it affects the body.
And the with the ether as well. Are we not looking at that one as well?
Just minded. When you learn more stuff by going and looking at it yourself, that's where I draw the line, because what you're talking about is just a narrow-minded approach. Just look at the freaking stuff.
Sorry, my friend. I just don't believe in fantasies. I left that behind a long time ago.
And now you've become close-minded with a mind.
All right, and you get
Hold on,
those
just 1 second. Just 1 second.
I want your
Hold on.
sources.
I haven't got an answer. So did you look? I need to expand out how scary these frequencies are, and I'm saying I personally am telling you that Bluetooth is scary.
Yeah.
So
Don't
have
use
you
it.
looked? Hold on. I want to
Bluetooth is
establish.
shit.
Jesus, Arwen. I want to establish if anyone
man.
actually. Let me know when you're done, Arwen, and I'll carry on.
Yeah. Bluetooth, same shit. Bad for you. There were actually in the 90s when it came out, right? There were business people that were all over that shit. They would put that in anything. Guess what happened to them after a while? This a certain epidemic came around. Yeah, cancer. Sudden bursts of it. Yeah, it was never proven in court.
Oh God, is this
going
going to ever bloody end? I'm in the middle of a point, Arwen.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Gee, thanks. Will I be able to continue an entire sentence without you interrupting me for the 17th time?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. So when I was half sarcastically, I say half because Arwen has gone away and researched Bluetooth, and apparently it is terrifying. Well, Lemonbird, you heard it here first, mate. You need to be scared of Bluetooth. So what did you do in terms of Bluetooth? Also another frequency. I think it's 2.4 gigahertz. Terrifyingly high. So what did you look into with Bluetooth?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking Lemonbird.
Okay.
We've got 5G. That's just one of many frequencies.
I haven't heard anything about it.
It's terrifying. 2.4 gigahertz.
I'm gonna dig out the book because.
Sorry, hold on. Nobody's telling me how scared they are of my fear porn when it comes to Bluetooth. Why isn't everyone shitting their pants?
Because Bluetooth is no longer really an end.
Oh, I see.
Mechanism as to how the
they took it out.
I've got two people talking now. Arwin, I'm talking to Lemon Bird. About the third time I've said this to him. Why are you so triggered, Arwin?
Because this shit is real and I am really disappointed. Not that I should care that much anyway, that you're having this absolute...
Oh God, I'm in the middle of a live show and conversation with someone else and we need to listen to Arwin drone on about his bloody disappointment.
Now you interrupt me.
Shut up. Go ahead, Lemon Bird.
I haven't heard about Bluetooth. What are you saying about Bluetooth, Nathan?
I made it up. I just decided to arbitrarily assign Bluetooth another random frequency as being terrifyingly scary. And just by pure coincidence, Arwin's told me about how in the 90s apparently it caused cancer. So really, I mean, I'm right. I mean, I only did it kind of sarcastically, but now it turns out, I mean, Bluetooth is genuinely terrifying. So we should really all be, you know, shitting our pants over this and going away and being cognizant of it and being forward thinking and really researching this stuff thoroughly. I'm sure the next aptX standard's going to come out very soon. I mean, Jesus, I don't know what even frequency that's going to be. Could be terrifying also. aptX, have you heard of that? It's a Bluetooth standard, very new. No?
Haven't heard of that.
I'd be looking into that non-stop if I were you, and I'd be very scared of it while you are. No?
To be fair,
just 5G.
What you would
just 5G then. No?
I think it was known as neurasthenia, this electrical hypersensitivity from back in the 1800s. That disorder got subsumed under general anxiety disorder, but supposedly there are still people that are very sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. Even Marconi, when he was installing his telephone wires, he ended up suffering from migraine, nervousness, and I think he ended up having several heart attacks, one of which took him out toward the end of his life.
And that was definitely caused by these frequencies, those heart attacks.
Yeah. Just like people...
And not you, Arwin.
Stations at radar stations.
Arwin, not your claim, not this conversation. I've got to shut down the line again because Arwin cannot shut up. So that was definitely causal then, those heart attacks, definitely caused by those frequencies. Take your time. I'll take that as a no. With that, I'll say, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, smashed the super chat and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, a massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making the live show possible. Stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Being told by the chat that I'm in denial.
Yeah. Hey, Nathan, I guess that if you're going this way, you don't really believe that chemtrails are anything either, right? You don't believe that anymore either. It's like there's nothing going on. Nothing is going on in this world because it's all lies. Everything is lies. All the conspiracy theories, all the ideas, everything the news says, everything always is lies because nothing happens.
Wow, that's
right,
a massive...
Nathan? Right?
I'm not going to get a chance to respond because you're triggered, so you're going to talk through
because
me.
I'm not
like
done
now,
yet. I wasn't
like
done
now.
yet. Maybe you
Triggered
should wait
as
on
all
people to
frig,
finish
not getting a
sometime
chance to
before
respond.
responding and not
Dealing
talking
with a
halfway
triggered
through
conspiratard who can't shut up ever. Yeah, I didn't get to respond more than 2 words, Arwin. So it seems that unless...
Yeah. I wasn't done yet. Maybe you should wait on somebody to finish talking before responding.
What, talking about how I don't believe anything with this absolutely outrageous, baseless assertion that suddenly I don't believe anything ever because I disagree with you on one point? Yeah, I should let you endlessly tell people how I now don't believe anything because you've divined my thoughts. Yeah, thanks, Arwin. Go on. Feel free.
No, it was a question.
No,
I was
obviously
asking.
not, Arwin, because I disagree with you on one subject.
So do you disagree about chemtrails too? That's just nothing.
I'm not talking about chemtrails.
No, but I'm talking about it.
Ugh.
I'm inquiring.
Yeah, I got 2 words out, Arwin, in response to your question. Second time of attempting to respond to you. I get 2 words out, and you start talking again. It's like dealing with rumpus. No, when I've discussed chemtrails, I take each claim and just assess it on its merits. For example, but not limited to, Ranty Flat Earth declaring that he got burnt by chemtrails. No, he didn't. He didn't have anything to back his baseless assertion and presupposition that chemtrails burnt his skin. He didn't back it with anything. So that's what I've challenged on. But anybody that makes a claim, generally speaking, I hardly ever make claims about anything. Now, I've made up a bullshit claim about bloody Bluetooth, and what do you know? Someone's latched onto it immediately. What a shock.
Can I respond now?
What, now finished? Like a normal conversation?
Yeah.
Can you try to do it without being so triggered, Arwin? I don't understand the trigger, why you're like this right now.
It's attitude. It's that. It's
the what?
Sadism.
He's going to appeal to my attitude.
Because he's asking for empirical evidence of what you're talking about.
No. He's not actually trying to really grasp it. He's not even listening to that sayings that it has been out there.
Do you
and
have
I have
the
trouble
evidence of
finding
what it is?
Because I haven't been the best web searcher out there. I'm actually quite terrible at it. I depend on other people that are very good at it and that even keep track of this shit for 10 years to find that shit. So I'm not the best. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to say something. I'm going to have it in 30 minutes. No, that's not me because I'm incompetent when it comes to web searching compared to other people. That's just an unfortunate fact. But I don't have just web searches to go on because I've been through this for 10 years. I've been to committee meetings about this shit, about wireless, about Wi-Fi, about Bluetooth. And I have a book, a Dutch written book that is specifically about this. That's kind of on banned lists and all that. It's not forbidden, but you can't find it anywhere unless you order it, if you can even still order it. I got that book, and Bluetooth is mentioned in it, and the frequencies and the technicals are all mentioned in it specifically. I don't have the book here in this room, and it's Dutch anyway, so there is an English version, though.
Okay.
So that's what I got.
And what's it saying?
What I'm saying is that 10 years ago, it was figured out that this shit is bad and it's already having detrimental influences. But since then, later, after I kind of dropped out of this subject, because I moved and like didn't get to know those, didn't hang around with those people anymore, didn't have the time, then since then, a lot of research has happened. And I've heard about this through my dad, his connection, through my healer. It has happened. And I'm trying to get it for you guys. I'm trying to get it for you. Okay?
All right, great. I don't have any problem with that. And I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true. What I'm saying is, why are you so upset? It kind of just sounds like you're upset because Nathan is not like, oh my God, everyone's going to die.
No,
I'm not doing that either.
Expect me to want that? I don't want that.
Okay, so maybe
He's
I
the
can,
one bringing up the
maybe I can
freaking fear.
clear up
I
this,
don't want people to fear.
But you're
I'm
yelling,
really
Arwin.
pissed off about
Arwin,
it.
you're
I
yelling.
don't want anyone to fear.
Let's try and clear this all up. See, what the problem is we have knowledge, we have information, and because now I'm not attacking the way, Nathan, but because of the way that we have our method of the scientific method being very strict, the only way we'd know that if the 5G actually affects what we say it is to have first-hand information, you see, because it's not a natural phenomena in nature. We don't just see 5G doing what they say we do. To form an experiment would be fruitless here, because we could say that man caused it. So I think what Globus is trying to explain is that we were going back and forth over the cause to the effect. But for me, in this instant, it doesn't require a scientific experiment, because there is no way that you could practically manipulate variables, because they are not of nature. So when he talks about an experiment, or anyone talks about an experiment, obviously we would ask, what is that observed phenomena? So in order to know, the point is to wrap it up, to know if 5G is causing the effect, for this epistemology, you would have to have first-hand knowledge, or do it yourself. You wouldn't be able to take anyone's word for it, or anyone's experiment. This is something that requires first-hand knowledge.
What evidence do you have, Spurs? What evidence do you have?
It wouldn't matter with this epistemology, because
of course it matters. You can't say it doesn't matter. You need to have evidence before. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, 5G is doing this, it's doing that, it's doing that." Without
yeah, but you're missing the point here. Is that Hoppy?
I'm not. What proof?
What's your name there? Is
All
it
he's
Hoopy
asking
Hoppy?
for, Spurs, all he's asking for is cowbell. That's it.
The observed natural phenomena, as far as would be. Sorry, you talking, Nathan?
I can hear you, Brian, but I'm going to kind of agree with you. But before you say it, so Spurs, you're right, but that doesn't mean to say that these frequencies can't be observed in nature. Therefore, there isn't any scientific studies associated, because you could derive natural phenomena from this. Now, therefore, hold on. Therefore, requirement of science is just having a natural phenomena, seeing a cause of an effect, establishing what that cause is through experiment. So you could say it's unreasonable because you're just dealing with a man-made tower, but it doesn't mean to say that there aren't elements of any technology, in fact most, that have come from scientific discovery. So there might be some science behind this, and it's not unreasonable to ask if there is any science behind this, because there might very well be. Now you're saying, well, what we've got as an end result is merely this piece of equipment. Therefore, in my epistemology, we don't need to provide any evidence? All we're asking for is, what have you got to back the claim? We know what the claim is. They're dangerous and going to hurt us. So what's the cowbell to back that? That's all we're asking for.
I got something.
Go ahead.
The natural phenomena could be something like an effect on your body, as like a symptom. And the cause could be...
Yeah, but do you know anyone who's got that?
Right, precisely. So, hold on, before it gets rumpus. Hello, hold on, hello. Yeah, righteous, correct. So you could say, well, no, you can observe in nature this frequency because it's emitted from X. Some crystal, for all I fucking know, who cares? But you can say, therefore, this oscillating crystal giving off this frequency has a detrimental effect on the life around it. Here you go. And I'm going to assert that the cause is the actual frequency being emitted. And then I vary it, and it doesn't. Therefore, I've proven it. Therefore, science. You're right. There's no reason to not have science backing any claim that you make in this regard. Just because there's a piece of technology emitting a frequency doesn't mean you can't observe that frequency naturally somewhere, or that there's any science, definitely no science behind this piece of technology, often based in scientific discovery.
Yeah, but for our position, that wouldn't matter.
Spurs, I was talking to Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you, Nathan. That's exactly what I was going to say, is that the naturally observed phenomena will be someone or people being sick. Then you find out what is causing them to be sick. And then if 5G is involved, you can test these frequencies and stuff. But you don't focus on that and say,
again, we're changing the... we seem to be hypocritical here, Brian. Because, again, where do we observe 5G?
He hasn't finished.
Hang on, Spurs, I wasn't finished. Okay? You don't focus on one thing. You have the phenomenon of someone being sick or people being sick. Then you find out what's causing the sick. And whatever it is whatever it is. Thank you.
Exactly. Like scurvy.
Yeah, I agree.
With scurvy, people get sick, then they try and figure out why they're getting sick. Well, through science, lack of vitamin C, independent variable. Isolated, manipulated, demonstrated as the cause. That's science. So if trees are getting sick equally, you can apply the same yardstick. Now, if it turns out it's a man-made device at the end of that, well, then you've got your cause. You haven't proven a natural cause, but you've still proven a cause. It turns out the phenomena you were observing wasn't natural in the slightest. The cause was man-made. But you can still apply the same yardstick.
There you go. That is exactly what I was trying to say to you, Chemo, that the scientific method can be applied here. If you are claiming there is an effect and you already say that you have a cause, you are at a great advantage, my friend, like I told you previously. So now that you have your independent variable, i.e. your cause, go ahead and do your experiments. And like I was saying, when I pressured the guy in 24/7 for the hypothesis, it was quite specific what he said to me. He said, if EMF is changed, right, whatever the hell that means, then red blood cells cannot carry oxygen. Okay, cool. Sure, go and perform this experiment. And it's very specific too when you guys are saying 60 gigahertz, right? Isn't that the very specific frequency that you are so scared of? You have it all. Like I said, it's all laid out for you. Now do the work and provide us with some evidence.
Okay, so I forgot the definition of experiment. What is the definition of experiment, Globus?
The hypothesis
Well, then
test.
your point is that if you don't know it, your
Hold on, let me
point
just
is
tell him.
invalid then, Spurs.
Yeah, I forgot. Can you remind me what the
Let me just tell him. Let's not have 10 minutes of this. Hello?
You should
Can I
know
just
it. You've
answer
been here
him?
for long.
Hello? Can I just answer him? It's a hypothesis test. Spurs, you asked what an experiment is. It's a hypothesis test.
Okay.
There you go, Chemo. But do you even have a theory to start off with? You have
No,
what is your theory?
stop. You don't start with theory. Theory comes after valid experiment. So, scientific
what was
theory...
his,
Let me just
phenomena?
explain. Hello? Middle of a sentence. I'm going to get more and more pissed off as this continues. Middle of a sentence. No, you don't start with a theory. You start with a phenomena. Then you make a hypothesis. Then you do experiment. Then you form a theory. So it's in that order, very specifically in that order. Colloquially, you can... Oh, my God. Colloquially, a theory is a bullshit story, an idea. Scientifically, a theory is based on validated experimentation. Experimentation is the actualization of a hypothesis. A hypothesis establishes the cause and effect reasoning that you're trying to figure out when you observe a phenomena. That is the order.
Awesome. Thank you for the lecture. I'm very well aware of that. I was highlighting that he has no theory at all. Even that he does not have. I'm aware that that comes after the process. But thank you for all of those that don't know the scientific method.
Pleasure. I love reciting it.
Yeah, I don't have an observed phenomenon in nature. I have a man-made device emitting radiation.
Trees dying, birds dying, people getting skin cancer. Hold on, he's wrong. No, trees dying, birds dying, people getting skin cancer. Arwen's feelings in his bones, all phenomena. All natural.
Yeah, not my claim, not my hypothesis. We have a man-made device emitting radiation.
And
that was my claim.
How does this device
so
work?
who cares?
How does 5G work?
Hold on. Who cares, Spurs? So what? And you've got Bluetooth emitting radiation. Wow.
Okay.
So what? So what?
Precisely. There's no science is needed.
So we need not concern ourselves, Spurs. There's
What
nothing
science
to
is
worry
needed,
about.
for this man-made
Oh
device?
God. So there's nothing to worry about.
Spurs, how's go on. Sorry, go on, Nathan.
Thanks. So there's nothing to worry about then. We've got towers there emitting frequencies. Okay? That's it. If that's the end of the statement, who cares?
Are they the same frequencies, Nathan?
No, there's multiples. There's masses of them. There's so many different ones through the airwaves. Uncountable numbers of them. In all different guises and strengths and frequencies. The airwaves are unbelievably cluttered.
So they don't behave the same way.
They all behave in a slightly different frequency. Frequency meaning
there you
the
go.
number of
So
cycles it
why-
performs Jesus wept.
So Bluetooth
Don't, why are you asking me a question? You want to answer it yourself. Are they all the same? No, they're all different. They're all different frequencies. Yeah? The number of hertz.
So why,
the number of... Still in the middle of that same fucking sentence that you've interrupted 3 times, mate. Yeah. Are they all the same, you ask? Talking. And I'm trying to answer you. But you don't want that, do you? You want your point to be dominant and me never to answer.
You already answer.
No, I'm in the middle of the answer. You've decided it's the end.
You already answer. Multiple frequencies. What else is there to say?
That they're different. That they're different cycles. The number of cycles per second, the height, the peaks, the troughs are all different.
Sure.
Yeah, you mean sure?
Yeah.
I'm not getting to say it because you keep interrupting me. You're telling me I'm done. Shut the fuck up.
Repeating.
I'm going to kick you out if you do interrupt me continually, right? You're telling me... Who is this asshole?
I'm Silent Zero.
Don't tell me that I'm done when you interrupt me 3 times. I'm describing how they're different. You're saying, yeah, you said they're different. Yeah, I said that 3 times, and when I said it, you interrupted 3 times, and I didn't get to describe how different they are, and how cluttered the airwaves were, and who gives a shit whether or not they're different. What difference does it make? There's loads of them, of all different types, all different names, all different frequencies, all different amplitudes. It makes sod all difference.
You know, there's different viruses, right? And they're all different and they all do different
We're not
things,
talking about viruses. Don't straw man me.
Well,
is that what you've interrupted me for, you dumb fuck? I'm going to kick this asshole out. Sorry, you're going to straw man the shit out of me with comparing them to viruses.
You're strawing them when you brought out the Bluetooth.
No, that's exactly the same. It's not a bloody...
Not the same.
Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm
5G
talking.
Frequency.
I'm talking, mate. I'm trying to respond to you.
You haven't.
Oh, it's not going to let me. Why are you a rumpusing asshole? I'm trying to have a conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to reply to you, but you keep talking through me every time I try. It's not reasonable to compare something that is merely at a different frequency to something that's biological. They are completely different. When I compare Bluetooth to 5G... I'm still talking! That's your last fucking chance. He's making my blood boil. Fuck off. No, you strawman asshole. It's not reasonable to compare something that is merely a different frequency with something biological. They are 2 totally different things. Meanwhile, Bluetooth is completely comparable to 5G. It's just a different frequency. Just a different part of an electromagnetic spectrum. What's an electromagnetic spectrum? Well, it's an arbitrary assigned description that we've given to something. That's all it is. But of course, I'm not going to get to say that while this asshole's here. Prick. Anybody else need to talk through every fucking word I say? Yes, we've got loads of frequencies of all different types. Suddenly we're honed in on one particular frequency with a particular level of peaks and troughs and number of cycles per second, arbitrarily assigned, the whole thing being conceptual in terms of its description. Who cares? Suddenly this particular frequency is terrifying. Why? No reasons being given, no cowbells being given, no demonstrations being given, just a shitload of fear porn from conspiratards. You don't like that term? Give me some fucking cowbell then! Bunch of fear-mongering idiots.
Yep, that's all I was asking for, Nathan. Just some cowbell.
Well, I mean, again, with your epistemology, or our epistemology here, Nathan, we can only accept first-hand evidence or experiments, if you can call it an experiment. Otherwise, we wouldn't accept it, you see, because if somebody says to us, oh, well, this, that, and the other, even if we present the evidence, we still don't have any reason to accept that evidence there.
What evidence do you have, Spurs? What evidence? Give us one, please.
Again, that evidence would be based on belief and not science.
Well, then it's not bloody evidence.
Well, then don't bring it up. Then don't bring it up.
Evidence.
Don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. Then.
Point. So what? That's the idea. Is that if someone says
proof.
5G damaging the bees, the birds, and humans, this cannot be demonstrated scientifically. This can only be demonstrated first
with belief,
because of this epistemology that we hold.
With belief, you mean?
No. The way that we know something to be true, we have to test it. We cannot just think that it's true.
And
We have to have an experiment
that's
to
fascinating.
tell us
Have you
if we
tested
know
this?
it or not.
And have you tested this?
No, because it's not science.
So why are you bloody touting your belief about it then?
No one cares, Spurs.
I'm saying to Globus that this cannot be tested with an experiment. He kept saying experiment. It cannot be tested with science because
Yes,
it's
it
not a
can.
natural phenomenon. We have a
Wrong.
man-made
You have
device
this
here. Right?
Hold on, circle jerk. Between myself and Righteous, we explained this to you only about 5 minutes ago.
Explain what exactly.
Right, to clarify further, let's say the effect is a symptom on a person. And the natural phenomena can be frequency, but you manipulating frequency by man-made means still falls within science. So frequency is a natural
man-made
phenomenon.
device.
Well, I mean, frequency is, I don't know, in nature. And you can
Where in
use
nature? Where do you see
man-made.
it in nature?
This is what happened last time,
Yeah, but where
Spurs.
do you see that in
This is what happened last time, Spurs. He tried to explain it to you and you muttered your way through every fucking word he said. Now you're asking and
Well, I
saying you
didn't
don't
hear what he
understand.
said.
And now you're doing it to me. Yeah, me and I had
but
to
I'm
shut
saying
you
I
down
didn't hear
every
what he
time.
said.
I had to do it last time. Me and Righteous had the conversation. You interrupted it because you weren't listening. That's what we get on the debate with most subjects that people are hot-headed about. Now this, frankly, I couldn't give a shit. Beyond me being continually interrupted, I literally couldn't give a shit about this argument. Don't care. Literally don't care. What I do care about is the triggered fuckwits that come here and constantly bloody interrupt me while I explain that we've got a shitload of them anyway. No one's focusing on this one or that one. I won't name them because heaven forbid someone goes out and starts looking at a different type of bloody frequency transmissions and getting scared about that as a direct result of me merely postulating that we're not terrified about this one, but suddenly we are terrified about that one. No cowbell, no evidence, no tests being done, just fear porn.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, like, say if we were talking about microwaves.
So do you suggest then that we start to get these devices, that there's people that have done that, unpack them, and then use that to prove that it can damage and all that. Well, then we'd be using illegal equipment and you'd get arrested for it.
Good question.
So how do you test it?
Good question. First answer me this. Why would you be so concerned that this frequency is dangerous? What's given you that idea, Arwin?
Well, maybe the design specs and what it's being used for in the military and all that. Secret Service, scanning, all kinds of things it can be used for.
Yeah, there's a lot of ex-CIA agents that say that 5G is part of the new frequency grid to actually torture people. Yeah.
Really? So that sounds like something that I wouldn't generally expect somebody of the general public to be hearing. So you're saying that just by coincidence, you as a member of the general public know insider information disseminated by the CIA?
Okay, again, this is the point here. If somebody
hold on, Spurs. So sorry. I mean, I've labelled this conspiratard, but tell me more about what the CIA are doing, Mr. General Public, and how they don't want to know. Maybe they don't want us to know about this. Tell me more.
Well, I was just okay. I understand the difference between the correlative evidence versus actual scientific proof that is the cause. I understand the difference, but I understand Arwen's position too of trying to.
That's not what I asked. My God, you've just told me about CIA. With Mark Taylor, it was about China. That you knew all about what China didn't want us to know, and now you seem to have insider information about what the CIA don't want us to know. I want to hear the actual bullshit.
What do you want to hear?
Apparently 5G's part of a fucking death ray, according to you 2 fucking minutes ago. Are you stupid? Who am I talking to? Who is this fuckwit? You've just told me that this is apparently a death ray from the CIA fucking A about 2 minutes ago? What the fuck do you think I'm asking you? What's the bullshit story? Hello, I'm clarifying. I'm clarifying while you talk through me. I'm clarifying that I want you to actually spin This utter horseshit narrative that you just postulated only 2 minutes ago. Not shy away from it and tell me how you agree about science. Just tell me this bullshit story. Okay?
That an ex-CIA member, as a whistleblower, was saying that 5G is part of a newer technology grid that they have patents for in the Army and the Air Force that are subliminal acoustic nervous system, microwave directed energy frequency systems, and also biocommunications and psychotronic weaponry warfare. It's all part of that same system, and that is what he was saying.
Wow. Where did you hear this?
Well, the patents are real. They're on Google for the acoustic subliminal nervous system warfare experimentation that they were doing. And also, the Air Force has a patent on synthetic telepathy that they also combine with the other one. So
I see. And that's at 5G frequencies, is it?
no, but 5G
Sorry,
is
stop.
a small part
Stop.
of the
Hello.
the entire
Stop.
picture.
Stop. I'll just ask it again. Don't give me any more than the no, and then I'll berate you. So this is
You don't have
not...
to do that, man. I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
This is not 5G? This bullshit story you've just given me is not 5G?
No, but 5G is a part of
Not
that
no
bigger
but.
system.
Shut up. Not no but, you fear-mongering twat. You fucking conspiratard idiot. No, not no but. Just not fucking 5G, you moron. A whole story about death and weapons and fucking military. But it's not 5G you're talking about, you unbelievable moron. Hello?
You don't have to do that. I'm on your side, man.
I don't give a fuck whose side you're on, you unbelievable twat. You're punting this stupid, unbelievable story that has got absolutely nothing to do with 5G. And when I ask you
No,
if it's
it
got
does.
anything,
He
I'm
says
still
that it
talking, mate. Yeah, still talking. You're punting this story. This is recorded for an audience. So my audience has got to be... Shut up. My audience has got to be poisoned by you and your utter nonsense about death and fear and military and weapons. It's got absolutely precisely nothing to do with 5G, but you've just punted that shit like I need to shit my pants about it, don't you? You want to punt that crap? I'm going to tell you off. Don't like it? Don't like being called a conspiratard? Don't act like one.
But they wouldn't be scared about it unless they were scared of dying.
Yeah, I know how the bloody death cell works.
But I'm just saying, you're only scared of something if you don't fully understand it and you're not accepting of what the outcome is probably going to be of it. So what the fear part of it is just the ignorance part of it.
Right. I know how the death cell works. And when it comes to this particular bullshit narrative that's surrounded in fear, and I ask for cowbell, I get none. But I do get, strange as it may seem, a similar bullshit story that I got from Mark Taylor about Corona and China. I get a story about a secret curtain I can't look behind, a whistleblower. It's all very James Bond. And then when I actually get to the crux of whether or not this is 5G related, it isn't. What a shock.
But it is also correlative that the symptoms that they
Oh,
discovered with
your fucking correlation. What a dick. With that, I'll say thank you very much indeed for watching on the premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley. Be sure to check out the nathanoakley.com Flat Earth Debate Forum. Of course, a massive thank you to our Conspiratard, G+, and Discord servers for making this after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!